remembered that I didn't show Scout in my last video, so here is the cat. Here she is. She wants to throw herself on the ground, I guess. Hi, my hair looks crazy. I don't have an explanation. This is just what I look like now. I do need to cut all of my hair off. It's coming. It's what's gonna happen next. Anyways, hello. It's me. It's Hannah. I'm back. Where was I? Same spot. Always in my house. Hello. So, I was at Half Price Books a couple days ago. At this point, like 2 days, but whenever this video goes up, it'll be in the past. I was looking at the historicals, didn't really see anything that I want, and the general fiction section is very difficult to look at and to find things that I'm looking for. Even if I have like an author in mind, I can never find what I'm actually looking for. So I went into the paranormal romance section, decided to do a little bit of digging myself. The last book that I bought used that was a paranormal in store was the Dark Prince book by Christine Feehan that Morgan and I read for our book club. It was awful. That was such a bad book. That was terrible. So I figured, let's redeem ourselves. I am a big paranormal romance reader. It is just, I really like them. Started out with Twilight and the vampires and has continued on into my early 20s. I just like these books. I just think they're neat. So I have 3 physical books, maybe 4 audiobooks, and some old ARCs that I have, books that are already released, but I just have them now on my iPad. So I figured I will show you the books that I have physically. I have these 3, and I have an audiobook of this one. No, of this one. So I have the Kiss of Midnight audiobook. This is by Laura Adrian. This one is a vampire story. The colors are quite a combo. So I have this one on audio. The rest I just have. This is Christina Dodd's Storm of Visions. This one is another vampire. Okay, it doesn't say. They are just chosen. And then Full Moon Rising by Carrie Arthur, which is vampire and werewolves. She's a hybrid vampire werewolf. And then Touch the Dark by Karen Chance, Rosemary and Roux by Seanan Mcguire, and Jacob by Jaclyn Frank. And then the audiobooks, or not the audio, those are the audio. The physical, no, my god, I'm so annoying. The ARCs. Are you crying? The ARCs I will just kind of like talk about as I'm reading them. I have at least 3 paranormals. So this is gonna be a bit of a chunker video wise, but I figured why not? It seems like the moment for it. Seems like fun. I don't know. Maybe I should do one of these 2 because these are the ones that I don't have audiobooks for. She's in my reusable bags like usual. So these are the ones that I would read physically. I didn't look for the audiobooks of these. I'm sure I could find some, but I wanna see. And also, I just wanted to say that these books are all new to me series, if not all new to me authors. The only one that I've read a book from before is Seanan Mcguire, but not anything paranormal romance. I don't think I've ever read a Seanan Mcguire romance. To be honest, I didn't know she did that. There's hair in my mouth. Yeah, so these are all new to me paranormals, and I'm just kind of excited. I feel like... Are you yelling? No, she's on my chair. I'm pretty much caught up on the Black Dagger Brotherhood. There's a Crusty Cole series that I think I'm caught up on. The Sherilyn Kenyon series I'm not caught up on. I guess there's 2 Nalini Singh series, right? And then one that I just read the book for a couple months ago, but I can't remember who the author was or what the series was. But Chandler read those books. Maybe it's... I can't remember. But I don't know. So I do... The point of that was I do have authors that I follow, that I read their books for because they're paranormals. But I'm just adding things for my roster. Want to learn new things. Want to read about new authors. Anyways, that's my first update. I will let you know how things go. Okay, so hello. I started this one. I'm barely 10 pages into it. So I've started reading. I've got 10 pages in. There's Scout on her side where she sits on my bed. Okay, so the prologue explained a little bit of like what the, I guess, mythology is going to be in this book. I'm hoping that I can balance it on my knees. Free, no hands. Okay. So there's the chosen ones, and or are they all? I don't, okay, hold on. Let's go back. Yes, the chosen ones and the others. So there was a set of twins who were abandoned by their mother. The boy twin was raised well, and the girl twin has joined the devil, which, you know, like, girl, you do you. But our main character, her name is Jaclyn. She's probably, I guess, one of the good guys. I think she can see the future. We really haven't delved into her at all. But, okay, so, yeah, the first one could do fire with his hand. He was the good boy, and then the bad girl was a seer. I don't know if it's all of their descendants had the same power or what the deal is, but she works at a vineyard. And from what I know about wine and wine tasting, if you are going to taste wine, you're not pouring a full glass. So that's what they're doing, and it just kind of bugged me. So that's all that I have to say so far. Aside from the sexism that's already happening, let's see. This book was from 2009. I'll double check. Yeah, 2009. But it's already talking about her coworkers and her boobs. So, and saying that they're, like, the owner of the vineyard hires people because of their boobs. I'm like, that's gross. That's really icky. I don't know. So that's where I'm at. I will wait. The whole premise of this one, from what I learned on the back of the book, is that, yes, okay, so she's working at this vineyard. She gets a flash of a vision. And then there's this guy there. He is going to tell her that she needs to take her place as one of the chosen, and she's going to run away. And he is going to chase after her, find her. I'm sure they'll run into some of the bad people and things will happen from there. But that's what's going on right now. And that's all I got. Scout is still being very noisy. She were so loud. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I don't 100% understand what's happening. Just to put that out there. I don't know what's going on. I'm now like 90 pages into it. So it starts off, Jaclyn's at the winery. Someone shows up, and then he ends up in her house, but she knows him, so they have sex. They have sex, and then he's like, your mom wants you to come home. He gets her to come home. They're in a subway station, and there's 6 other people and her mom. They're part of this group of 7 who come together every 7 years to do something. What that thing is, I don't know. But the headquarters just basically burnt down, and her mom is like, peace out, have fun, because I guess she's not in charge of it anymore, that Jaclyn's now in charge. It's very weird. I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. Okay, currently halfway into this book. It has been many hours, although I'm in the exact same spot that I was when I was reading this before. But I went and watched Drag Race, because that's what I wanted to do with my Super Bowl Sunday. So Scout and I watched a couple episodes of Drag Race on Hulu, but let's talk about her. So I think I'm like halfway into this book now. Oh, Scout's gonna come and say hi. She jumped on my stomach twice, going past me because I'm just a stepping stone. Anyways, halfway through this book, and I just want to say I'm not loving it. That's my thoughts. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and call this more urban fantasy than paranormal. Not that it matters. I did pick up some books that I thought would also be urban fantasy because I know they're not the same genre, but they're in very close families, in my opinion. So I can read them somewhat interchangeably and have the same expectations for both of them. But there's almost no magic in this. There's been nothing happening is the problem. They're at this man's house because he's like the only person that's still alive, so they're just chilling at his house. And she's very young. She's like 22, which is my age, so me calling her very young is probably like funny, haha, but her love interest is 9 years older than her. Okay. He is also very boring. So where's the paranormal in this? What is happening? It's almost like the YA trope of the very young person is there to save them. So that's been frustrating. I also couldn't find the audiobook of this one. I tried to look. I think there was an audio for the other one, because there was obviously the audiobook that I already have for the other one, but for this one, no. So I'm stuck reading it physically, which is taking me a long time. Also, you can see how old this book is and how it sat in the sun on someone's shelf because of how yellow the outside of it is. I just find that interesting. That it's like, even from top to bottom, isn't that interesting? Books are very weird. Books are just strange. It's late, I'm tired. That's all. Hi, it's Alexa, what day is today?
It's Monday, February 8th.
It's Monday, February 8th, so it's the next day. I am so mad, to be honest. I'm really angry. Alexa thought I was talking to her. Okay. I'm like 300 pages into this book now. I have 60 to 70 left. Her mom's dead. Sorry, is that harsh? I'm having... So I already still have a headache, so my head hurts, but it's also making me really mad. So her mom is dead now. Sorry if I didn't say that earlier. Her mom is dead. And she was adopted. Her mom found her in a dumpster. That's their whole thing. Like, they have to be abandoned. And that's where they get their powers. And if they're raised by whoever they're raised by, that depends on if they're good or bad, which is solid. Some solid mythology. But the love interest was her mom's bodyguard. Briefly. They hooked up like 2 years ago. That was weird. That was a weird thing to do with my fingers. That made me uncomfortable. And then he went back to her mom. And they kind of never spoke again, so she just didn't go back to, see her mom. But now, the way they're discussing how her mom treated her, as a human person, as a child, as a teenager, as her child, is... it doesn't matter that she ignored you, that she was awful, that she didn't, I don't want to say act like a parent, but didn't parent you, ignored you, was only focused on the, like, travel agency. They use the word gypsy a lot, which I don't enjoy, but I think it's somehow based on the Romani people, which is just also even weirder. But because she saved Caleb, the love interest, his mom, and gave them a better life, he feels like he owes her. And because she adopted her, Jaclyn, the main character, we're supposed to just, like, not care that she was awful. I don't know. There's just, like, it's very, terrible what's happening. I just don't, I don't even know if I'm explaining what's happening, but it's making me quite angry. So, up until basically right now, although there were a couple moments where the love interest, Caleb, was, like, and still is dismissive of her feelings toward her mom, and was like, oh, she'll figure out that her mom was, like, good in a little bit, but I can't force her into it. And I was like, there's nothing good about her mom. Just because she had a shitty life and then adopted a baby and then didn't let that baby die in a dumpster doesn't mean that she gave that, like, just because she gave that child life doesn't mean she gave it a better life. It seems like she had a pretty shitty time anyways, so I don't know. I know I'm not explaining this well because I have been awake for like 10 minutes and went back into reading this book, but before that happened, I was sitting at like a 2-star. So, did it bump it down to a 1? Maybe. Does this make me as angry as Dark Prince? No. But perhaps in a different way. Also, something weird that happened, they were having sex, or they were about to have sex, and he got up, took his clothes off, put the condom on, and then came back. And then, like, a couple paragraphs later, they had sex. I was like, why did you put it on before? Are you afraid? Are you not afraid it's gonna fall off? Anyways, I'm just gonna kind of skim read through this, figure out what I can figure out, and then give this my 1 or 2 star rating because I'm not liking it at all, so that's fun. I feel comfortable with my 2 stars. I didn't like this. I didn't like it, but I don't know. Undecided, maybe, because it was not good, and I didn't like it. Here we go. It says paranormal romance, but what was paranormal about this? Almost nothing. So, disappointing on all fronts. Thank you very much for that. What's up next? I don't know. I don't know yet. It's still quite early. I don't have the answers yet. Probably an audio. Well, actually, yeah. So the other books I have on audio except for the arcs. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts? I'm in my kitchen and also the rest of my house now. So I have moved briefly from my room. I've decided to try to make these into waffles because I have the like mini waffle maker and I've wanted to try this for a while because I don't have eggs. So yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. I've been reading one of my arcs, Rogue Dragon Rising, which I've been reading for approximately 20 minutes and I'm already 63% of the way into, so I think it's one of those like non-traditionally published books that's separated where they'll like stop it on cliffhanger. It's fine. So what's happening is we're in a alternate world with shapeshifters. And people can, I guess, shapeshift into anything. But they're separated into like carnivore and herbivores based on whatever they shift into. And we have a girl who's from somewhere that is unexplained. And she bonks her head and forgets who she is and is just kind of running around wreaking havoc. I don't know. She might be a dragon shifter because our male main character is a dragon shapeshifter, so that just seems to be what's happening. Yeah, there's nothing happening in this book. But it is better than the first one that I read, so I'll give it that. Better than my 2-star book, but also this is my least favorite thing about non-traditionally published books, which I'm just assuming that this one is because of the like fact that this is going to end on a cliffhanger, although they could put it into one book. For some reason they just don't do that. So yeah, that's where I'm living my life. Here's my pumpkin spice cake mix. This is fun. We're having a good time, aren't we? This is probably going to make 2 tiny waffles. Hello, back in my bed for... why not? So I was right about how short this was. It was 186 pages, but feels a lot quicker than that. It has a 4.3 ratings of 132 ratings on Goodreads, which is probably more than I would give this. I just feel confused. Does it have a publisher? Forgotten Dreams Publishing LLC. Is that indie? I don't really know what it means, but I would like a between 2 and 3 stars. Was it better than the other book that I read? Yes. But also no. Okay. It was better than the first book that I read, but it was also not good. So, okay. I'm having a really hard time qualifying my thoughts because there wasn't enough to have this happen. Yeah. I don't know. That was weird. I don't have thoughts, but I did read that one. Things did happen, and that was one that I can check off, so sounds cool to me. I really don't know what to rate this. Let's give it 2 stars. I feel like that's something that I can live with, because if I gave Dark Lover 4 stars. Okay. But a lot of the Black Dagger Brotherhood got 3 stars from me. Okay, well, they're not going to show me right now. But yeah, I gave a lot of those 3 stars. They were not as good as that. Oh, Scout's typing. Are you working? Are you working from home? That's the keyboard for my iPad. So yes, that's just a very weird thing happening. But okay. Cool. There's one. I don't know if I think I have one. I don't know if you can hear the chainsaws. They're cutting down trees outside. Trimming trees, I should say. Being very noisy. Okay. I don't know how many more arcs I have. I think one of them might be YA, and I don't know if I like YA paranormal romance, but I'm gonna go as the chainsaw's happening, so goodbye. Hello, we're in my kitchen area. I'm gonna microwave my lunch. I thought about eating something else that also had rice in it, but figured that I should eat this before it goes bad. So, it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's the 10th. I didn't film anything yesterday because I did a little bit of reading, but I was also doing my laundry. I washed my sheets, which is always a pain in the ass because Scout likes to climb between every layer and then stick her head out. So, yeah. Lots of fun. But I have been reading another one of my arcs. So, The Vampire's Reckoning. This is weird. I'm almost I'm 44% into it, and what has happened so far is we've met a vampire man who's a couple years old, and then a girl whose family has been cursed by another gypsy, which is like, why? It's like a cheat, in my opinion, a cheat way to do your mythology, like make it better. Don't just do that. But that her family, okay, her like great removed grandfather seduced a woman and then like promised to marry her and then wasn't going to marry her, so she cursed his family, his descendants, that if they fall in love they'll murder their partner and then themselves. I don't know what's going on. They haven't really explained it. I guess they did, I just don't know how to further the explanation past what I just said. So she is in her mid-20s, and someday, like, there's a day that all these wolves come because she's been promised to a demon, and this vampire's here to make sure that the demon doesn't take her, because it's not. And I did, reading this description, I was like, we're not rooting for the demon because he doesn't want to fuck her. He wants to take over her body in a internal way, not a physical way. So I was like, but it's not that kind of book, unfortunately. Yeah, so I'm not loving this one. There has been almost nothing happening. The vampire is very like Edwardian, not Edwardian, but like Edwardian, which is just a weirder way of saying it, but I'm relating him to Edward Cullen and the fact that he's like a drama queen who doesn't want to be a vampire. And yeah, I guess another vampire, he's like the Stefan at his peak, and his brother, his older brother, who was there and but evil, is like the Damon. I don't know what's happening. I don't have the answers, but I do want to listen to an audio. Yeah, and then tonight at like 6 or 7 o'clock, I think. Why? They're both doing it. Are you kidding me? My dad gets like Zoom tasting things from his work, so we're doing a whiskey tasting tonight, which will be kind of fun. I don't ever drink whiskey. The first time would have been at a house party after I graduated high school, when people were just like bringing and drinking random alcohol. I had like champagne and Baileys and some sort of whiskey, and like, do you remember before White Claws were a thing? Before they existed? It was just, I guess, like Mike's Hard instead. I don't know. But then I also think that I dated someone who drank whiskey. I think. I don't remember. I'm not a huge fan of it from what I know of it, but it'll be fun to try it. And there's also chocolate involved, and I think my mom is making steaks. So that's my plan. I'm gonna probably go start one of these audiobooks. Hello. It's 12:20. I have finished my lunch and I've been listening to the audiobook for this one. And I guess I'll tell you some things about it. Let's chat. Okay. I'm on just started chapter 4. I'm like 55. I can't read. 55 pages into this book, and my bookmark for the moment is a Dave & Buster's card. I don't know what to call those. Like a play card, because that was on my dresser. Anyways, I'm trying to make sure that Scout is not going to be evil cat yet. Okay, so our main character's name is Gabrielle, and she is an orphaned artist. The prologue is her mother being attacked by a vampire and then kind of freaking out, and basically I don't know if I can't tell if her mom died at the moment that it like ends, but ends up with orphan, abandoned Gabrielle. She's an artist. She's a photographer, so she takes like cityscape pictures, and the first actual scene in the book is her at one of her art showings at her friend's gallery, and then they go out to a club and she sees what turns out to be like 5 or 6 vampires attacking this one guy. She takes some pictures, goes to the police. The police are like, there's nothing there, cops suck. But there is another vampire. So there's like obviously the evil vampires and then the good vampires, and the good vampire's name is Lucan. His name is Lucan. He comes to her house and realizes that she's a breed something, which is kind of icky, but it's fine. So apparently vampires are only men. So they have these women who exist to become their like mates, and then I don't know, vampire babies? I don't know, just endless happiness. But there was someone at the police station. I forgot words. It's hard to think with my headphones in but no noise playing. Anyways, there's someone who works at the police station who like got her info, who is like perhaps the leader of the evil vampires, is what I'm picking up on these subtle cues that make me think that he's the evil vampire man. But her best friend who owns the gallery is a gay man, and he's about to go see this mysterious buyer who wants to buy all of her artwork, and he's probably gonna die. I'm getting very much like Dark Lover vibes. He comes into her house right after they meet and performs oral sex on her while she's half asleep, but there's it says J word on the cover of it. So, but she thinks it's a dream, which is very much what happened in Dark Lover. Yeah, I do kind of want to see how many are in this, if this is a continually running series. There's 16. Maybe one, yeah, that came out in 2019. So a pretty long running series, which is what I'm looking for in this video. I'm looking for another series like the Black Dagger Brotherhood to continue to read. Oh, but this is the Midnight Breed series, which is uncomfy. I realize you're getting such a what is that called? Like a profile of my nose, which I don't like, so don't look. Oh, and then there's a Legacy series, which is like the Black Dagger Legacy, which is also, so there's some spin-offs. Oh my gosh. See, this is what I was looking for, just a long series to do this through. But these covers are ugly. This is ugly. This is bad. There's also, I don't know, there's nothing else to say. I'm having sometimes, so man, could I even tell you? Okay, let me flip through to find where I am. Oh, and Scout is here. She was napping. Okay. Page 275. So I've done a lot of reading / listening in the time since I brought it up, but we've found out a little bit more about these vampires, and our main character, Gabrielle, has finally found out that Lucan is a vampire. And their lore, their mythology, is that they are aliens. And perhaps they have... Scout, quit. Get off this chair. So they're aliens. But like evolved aliens, and they can't handle earth food, so they drank blood. And maybe the fangs were just to make it easier, but yeah, I look so oily. It's because I'm oily. Yeah. So that's the weirdness there. She has been brought to their house, their estate where they all live, and is meeting people. He's being a drama queen. He is very dramatic, but a very, honestly, okay, aside from the fact that I don't remember remember a lot of what happened in Dark Lover, even though I think I reread it like last year, maybe with Morgan. Did we? Yeah, that sounds about right. Like nearish last year. I'm sore. They're about I think this one might be even shorter than Dark Lover is, but she, I think, knows about everything before that. I think it's, what's her name? Is she Bella? I can't remember, but more was happening, right? I don't know. I've been spending a lot of my time comparing the two because they're very familiar, very similar. I don't know why I said that. I'm probably gonna go take a nap because my head hurts so badly, but yeah. I don't think he's as charismatic, as sexy as Wrath is, but he's not bad. He's also the leader of the vampires. There is more secondary, like, non-human characters. I will say that I was a little bit wrong. Her gay friend is still alive, and it's okay. Hi. It's another one of her friends who has been taken by the vampires, and he's probably gonna screw some things up for them. What are you doing? Hi. I don't know what she's doing. Hi. Hi, honey. But there's at least 4 or 5 men who I can see getting stories from this. But in the Black Dagger Brotherhood books, you at least know who the leader of the others is, and these are the rogues, but you don't really know who he is. Who is he? They're, I feel like, alluding to the fact that it might be one of the vampires that's one of the breed, because he has a lot of, like, tension with Lucan. Hi. I don't know what you're doing. Only I can see your stinky face. Okay. Off she goes. Oh, are you gonna jump? You can jump? Wow! Wow! How cool! How cool are you? Anyways. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, yes, I kind of do. So it's like, it's probably not, but it could be. Be careful. You're gonna fall down. Anyways, yeah. That's all I have for right now. I'm drinking a Red Bull because maybe I'm under caffeinated. I don't know. And that's why my head hurts. I still have like 4 hours left of this audiobook, and I've been doing, like, I did some computer work. I am watching cooking videos on Instagram. What did you land on? I played a little bit of Best Fiends. I'm not very far. I think I'm not even to level 200, but it is pretty fun. Yeah. I am enjoying this one, so that's good. More than the other vampire book, I would say, but when I finish this one, what should I go to next? We're not there yet. The Seanan Mcguire book, for some reason, I accidentally, or they only have the ebooks of the Seanan Mcguire, so I'll read that one instead of listen. But maybe, so I have two library cards on this, so it's 2 accounts. If I look on my phone, I can see both of them, but if I'm on my computer, they're separated. So I think the next one that I might listen to is probably going to be Jacob by Jaclyn Frank. Bree from In 11 Words has talked about these books, and I don't know if we have similar reading tastes. We like, I would say, some of the same books. Do we rate them the same always? No, but does anybody rate books similarly to me? I think not. I am a nightmare. But, oh no. This is a blurb from Christine Fian on it. But this has been nonsensical. This is going to be the longest video in the world, so I don't even think Morgan's going to be this far. Am I going to get this far? I have to watch this. I have to edit this. There's me. There's Stinky. Okay. Hello. We're in my bed now. It's been maybe an hour, maybe a half hour. Actually, okay. So I finished my last clip and then came and looked at the audiobook, and I actually had like an hour less than I thought. So it's probably been an hour since I filmed that clip. It was just me, not this one. I finished this one. So I feel like it was a little bit twisty. I got answers to some of it. I feel like it was a lot of build up and just kind of unresolved as far as the villain of this story, so I didn't really like that. But the traitor wasn't the person that I thought it was going to be, so that was kind of interesting. I liked that moment. But so I think that this is going to be a 3-star book for me. It was a little bit more dragged out in the her not knowing he's a vampire for me. So I think this one is a 3 stars. If I'm comparing it to all of the books that I've read so far this week, leaps and bounds better than almost all of the other ones that I've read, but not as good as Dark Lover. Only comparing it as a vampire book published in the early 2000s with a J.R. Ward quote on the top of the book. But I did enjoy this one. I liked it. Less maybe not as controlling and sexually uncomfortable as Dark Prince was. He has the ability to go into humans' heads and tell them what to do, but he can't do it to our heroine, which is not what happens in Dark Prince. And the initial encounter that happened in Dark Lover, where he kind of like breaks into her house and scares the shit out of her, doesn't happen in this one. But there is a scene where she's like, maybe he'll come in tonight, and then he does, wakes her out of her sleep, performs oral sex on her, and then disappears. So she's not sure if it's real or a dream until later. So it's, I guess, undisclosed? I don't know. So that's the only, I guess, slightly dubious moment that happens in this one. But they were just kind of annoying, is my issue. Is that I didn't love them super, super much, but I did like this book. So yes, I will keep this one. This one does not need to be removed, but it does need to find a shelf, because I don't know if I want to put this on my historical shelf, even though it's a mass market. And honestly, maybe I do want to keep buying books from the series. I didn't read very much of it actually physically, maybe like the last 2 or 3 chapters because my AirPods needed to be charged, so I just finished this up physically, but enough to keep the book. And maybe I'll listen to the second one. If I like it enough, then I'll continue to buy them. I think I got this book for like $4, so I'm not worried about it. Mass markets, even full price, are like $8, so I don't know. That's my thoughts. This does kind of make me want to start another physical book, but I might take a break from this. I don't know. Who's to say? I'll check in later. I do have to charge my battery, so maybe I'll take a little bit of a break. You can see Scout again. She is not moved alone. Sometimes she thinks that she needs to follow me too much, but there's her tail. Right here. You look so mad at me. She said I am. She always is. So the lighting is really bad in my bathroom, but it's also a bathroom, so it doesn't matter. I didn't last very long in the whiskey tasting. I don't like whiskey. So that's that. You can see all of the masks that I've recently washed, and plus a pair of tights. So that's cool. Yeah, but I did take a picture right before the tasting started with the whiskeys and some chocolates that my mom got. And a cheese plate, because my mom really likes to do cheese plates. Use this to take off my mascara and then just like double cleanse. So I finished The Vampire's Awakening or whatever. This book was awful. It was terrible. And that might be mean, and I guess it is mean, but I didn't like that book at all. The rest of this video is just going to be that one more physical book and then the audiobooks that I have. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed, but I work tomorrow and we'll just see what happens from there. So, see you later. Hello. It's been some time. It's been a little bit of time, but my hair, I did it today. It looks different now. It looks the same, but it also looks different compared to how it has looked this week. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, hello. I'm on my last 3 books of this video, which makes this the longest video in the world, but I'll talk about the books that I'm reading at the moment. We'll figure it out. Okay, so I started with listening to, could you see Scout? No, I think my mic gets in the way. Okay, so I started with an audiobook that I've already forgotten the name of, and then I didn't really like it, so I DNF'd it, and I'm just gonna, I'll pop it up here, but I didn't like it, so we're gonna move on past it. Then I have, like, all forms of reading possible. So, Full Moon Rising, this is the last physical book, although I only had 3 of them, so I don't know why I'm acting like, oh my god, it's such a big deal. But it's not. This is about a girl named Riley. Yes, Riley, who's half vampire, half werewolf. And supposedly a naked vampire shows up at her house. I'm really not very far into this one. I don't even know if you can tell, but it's written in first person, which isn't my favorite way to read books anymore. It's just kind of something I've moved past, but there's this one. Rosemary and Roux by Seanan Mcguire, which is a fairy type book. Our main character is a changeling. There's been a lot of weird time jumps. Now it's in 2009, and I don't really understand what's happening. And that's all that I have to say about that one. I will continue to have more thoughts and share them. And then I'm listening to Jacob by Jaclyn Frank. This is a demon book. I don't know. But there's a human Bella and demon Jacob. And I do wonder when this was published. But yeah, she's a human and they're not supposed to be with humans, but it's like their one weakness and they're getting together. Things are questionable, but I am liking that one probably the most. You can see her standing up. Okay. Liking that one the most, although I haven't read very much of this one yet. But I do know that the Nightwalker series is a pretty long running series, so there we go. That's that on that. It's been a couple days since I've updated because I didn't want to wash my hair and it would have looked the same after a few days and it would have been just gross, but yes. I feel like Scout is somewhere she's not supposed to be. Where are you? Oh, I found her. Ugh. Hi. Hello. Hello, cat. Oh, she's been interested in enclosed covered spaces more than usual today. I think it's just kind of cold. Let's look and see the actual weather right now. 30 degrees. That's cold. I have to leave in like an hour and a half. But I did finish Jacob and I gave it like 3.5 stars. I did end up seeing a spoiler for like the last book in the series because I looked at the last book in the series and the first sentence of someone's review was a very big spoiler. So that's cool, but I mean, that's like 5 books ahead of where I am, and I don't think it changed my perception of this book, but it was okay, actually. I think I have fond memories of it because I finished it like 20 minutes ago, so I don't know why my memories would be anything but fond. But yeah, I did, for the most part, enjoy this book. I would say that it was a book that I liked. I don't really know what there is to say about it. You have another situation where there's like the ability to have mind control. They can talk to each other in each other's minds, but everybody else can also have the ability to, like, because she's a human, control her mind. But it doesn't really work on her, so it's less... Okay. So it's less uncomfortable as the Dark Prince, where you're given like no autonomy and just absolute weirdness. Scout is on a rampage right now. I've bothered her too much and she has to run around. Anyways, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of thoughts. I think it would have been interesting to see... I don't know. What did I want from this? I don't know. I think it's okay. I didn't dislike it, but it isn't any, it wasn't Dark Lover, let me tell you. But yeah, so only 6 books in this series, and then a spin-off series that I'm probably gonna work on. Will you calm down? Can you be calm for 2 seconds? Anyways, so that just leaves this one and the Seanan Mcguire book, which I'm like between 30 and 40% into, and I don't know if I like that one, to be honest. There is a lot of information. If there's a glossary at the beginning of the book, it's either going to be good or bad for me, and I think this might be just a little bit too info-dumpy. Just a little bit too much, so I'm not sure. But I have to go get ready for work, so I'll see you guys later tonight. Probably won't be able to carry these on while at work since neither of these I have the audiobook version of, so it's just gonna be me reading these later. It's supposed to... There's a chance of snow, actually, so I say supposed to, but there's a chance of snow, which is cool, because Texas snow is different than everybody else's snow. Hi. So hats are not my normal lifestyle, but it's probably 12 degrees outside. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's not dox myself. 12. And I don't have power right now, so it's cold as shit, and I'm layered, so that's hence the hat. Anyways. Oh, and Scout. We did get some snow. I tried to take Scout outside, but she didn't want to go, so it's fine. She's too much of a diva to go outside, I guess. My day feels so weird now. Even just not being able to turn on lights. Although, now that the sun's out, now that it's 8:30, it looks fine. Anyways, I can't continue to read the Seanan Mcguire book that I've been reading. What are you looking at? Anyways, I can't read it right now because I don't have Wi-Fi, but I have been reading this one a little bit, and I'm actually not hating it. It is in first person, which I don't really love for my almost any books that I read. I think I talked about it before, but I think it's just something that I've grown out of at this point, where you're really only stuck inside one person's head. I'd like to see more of the world. It feels less maybe info dumpy when you're learning about new worlds when it's not in first person, because I think it just feels more organic, where they're like, instead of being like, I'm going to my job at this place because werewolves do this now, and where, you know, does that make sense? Instead of like being able to explain it as a third party. I don't know. But yeah, so this is like a Riley Jensen series, and I'm still not that far into it. I've probably read like 30 more pages from what I've read, but this is a society where people know about at least vampires and werewolves. I don't know if there's more, but her and her brother are half vampire, half werewolf somehow, and I guess they're on like opposite ends of the spectrum. He's more vampire, she's more werewolf, but everybody thinks that she's a werewolf, and maybe not everybody knows that they're related. Hard to tell. But a somewhat amnesiac vampire shows up on her doorstep looking for her brother, but her brother's on a mission, and she has like, I really like how this shakes around, but she has some like twintuition maybe about her brother and this mission that he's on. So I don't know. I don't really know what's happening just yet. I kind of like it. Confusing. It's interesting to see, though, I will say, how like regulated the species are. There was a line, so I guess full moon, they can change into werewolves whenever they want to, but they still are affected by the full moon, and I think that they just go and have sex for a week with a bunch of people, or like, as I don't know, I don't really know, it hasn't happened yet, but they are nanotechnology in this, and somehow they are maybe just the women, which is gross. It's not sterilized because they would have to go to the government and pay to get whatever it is removed that keeps them from getting pregnant as werewolves. And so it's like interesting but weird. I don't know how to explain it because it's like a weird A, non-existent technology, but B, wasn't also very explained. But yeah, so I'm a little bit confused, but we'll keep going because I don't really have much else to do. To be honest, I have no power. I tried to have instant coffee. My parents have a gas stove, so they can like light, they can light matches and then start up the stove. I tried instant coffee. Disgusting. Disgusting, no rights, absolutely awful. Hi. She's on my side of the bed. Anyways. Yeah. So, and I don't know how far the power outage goes because it's everybody on my street. Did it send? Hard to tell. Everybody at least on my street, but I don't know if work will have power. They should be open now. I could call, but I don't know. I'll show them. What are you doing? Let's go look out my window. Snow is a very weird thing for us, and it's also like less than you think, but also a lot. That's white balance. So I'm on a second story, so this line right here is the edge of my roof, and then the rest is snow. Oh, you're so cold. You're so cold. You're by the windows and you're getting cold. Don't do that. Yeah, so you can see how... I mean, you can't, but it's hard to tell without perspective. I mean, right here is flower beds, and then there's a edge that's concrete, and then the pool. So it's very bizarre. That's the first car I've seen drive by. Wow. Wow. Everything is so cold. It's all cold. Okay. Hello. We're back. I feel like I look ill, but I'm fine. It's just cold. Let's see. So I went from here to here, basically, in this book. I'm gonna give it a little bit more of an urban fantasy vibe than a paranormal vibe, at least in my opinion. It's gotten very... I don't know. I think that my idea of an urban fantasy is a little bit different than, like, perhaps what the genre is meant to be. But it's... the fact that this book has people who... let me try to think. The fact that, like, vampires and werewolves and other shifters are known about makes this a lot different than almost all of the books that I've read so far for this video, but I don't know. It's a little bit more political, a little bit more, like, less world buildy, but more emphasis on what's happening. I don't know. Hard to explain. What has been happening? Okay. People have been disappearing. Her brother disappeared. There's a company who's taking sperm and eggs to try to create more of these half creatures, not just vampire werewolves, but like all the combinations possible. So I think they're just trying to get to the bottom of it. Do I understand what's happening? No. Is it my favorite? No. So it's kind of questionable. I don't know. Those were my thoughts. I can't believe this video is almost done. I've been doing this for like a week and a half, right? But yeah, it's fucking freezing. I am so cold right now. It's 19 degrees outside. Nice. Today the high is 24. And I think it's about to start warming up a little bit. I am basically living in a void right now. The only people I can talk to are like my parents and my younger siblings, because I can't get in contact with anybody at work to see if the store is open, to actually go to work, so that's stressful. I'll have to drive in snow to get there and see if it's even open, because when I called like an hour and a half ago, there was no answer. This is annoying. How do people do this? This is frustrating me, and I'm so cold. Freezing. Hello. This is what I look like after I've been outside. Still no power, still in as many layers. I put on my work clothes underneath robe and jacket and pajama pants. I'm glad you saw my leg. That was hard. Holy shit, it's cold. Okay, so I just had lunch with I finished this one. Am I gonna give it 2 stars? Probably. So I'm gonna take the sticker off so I can trade it in. I feel like I have a lot of unresolved, like, unanswered questions. The people who are kidnapping people, we don't really find out who is the, like, overarching person in charge of it, so it's just kind of uncomfy. I'm kind of confused, but not intrigued enough to keep going. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I can't read the Seanan Mcguire book right now because we still don't have power or Wi-Fi, and it has got to be like 50 degrees in here. It's 56 degrees in my parents' house, but they have, let's see, 5 people and a dog in there, and I have 1 person and my cat. More windows, second story. You're so sweet. And they have a fireplace and a heater, which I don't have. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's very cold in here. That's all. I get to go pick an unrelated book to this. I was hoping that I would get to dispose of some of these layers, but it's freezing in here. So, cool. That's fun. Actually, it should be able to show me. That's my weather. Wow. I'm finally not wearing that hat. So our power's back on. You can't tell very much because, oh, now you can. I have a lamp on. Hi. Hi. Hi, friends. I feel like I'm a whole new woman, a whole new lady now. Now I'm not wearing that hat anymore. We got power. We got power. We're back home. Oh my goodness. She's a cat. So, last night, pretty much after, not too long after I vlogged, probably like 4 p.m. Scout and I went to my parents' house. She hated it. She cried the whole way over. And then also cried coming back. I don't think she'll get back in her carrier for a little bit. But she's still very easy to put into it. Just have to squish her legs together and put her in it. So, that's fun. We had lots of fun visiting, being warmer, and now the power is back on, but can't go too crazy. I have 2 lights on and my electric kettle on. Try not to use too much so they don't turn it back off. But, and I actually know. Okay, I was like, this morning, I was like, I could have just read it on my phone, but there was a point where my phone was at, like 20%, so I wasn't going to spend my time reading this book. But I finished, God, Rosemary and Roux by Seanan Mcguire. Didn't really like this book. Probably a good old 2-star read. We're following a half fairy, half human named October. They call her a changeling. I'm not 100% sure that's actually what a changeling is. That changelings are like, I'm unpacking my bag. I have my birth control and cat toys. I probably should have put those away instead of just throwing them on the floor. And then what I was looking for, charger. I want to charge it in case they turn off the power again. So she is half fairy, half human, and the book starts in 1995, and she's like a fairy PI, and she's following her lord's twin brother, and then he turns her into a fish. So she's a fish for 14 years, and then she comes back, and one of her friends die. One of her friends dies. Words. And then her friend, like, basically curses her and says that if you don't figure out who killed me, you'll die too. So that's the whole, she's trying to figure out who killed her friend, kind of re-entering back into this world. But I didn't really like it. It was weird. She was a weird main character. It was just not super enjoyable. So, 2 stars. And I guess it's time to kind of wrap up this video to sum everything up for the fun times. I found, I believe, 2 series that I will continue on. One of them I put back onto my bookshelf. I forgot I turned that on. So, the Nightwalker series by Jaclyn and then Kiss of Midnight. I liked those 2 books and will probably continue on with those series, but as for the rest of it, not a super huge fan. But as far as things go, oh, not too terrible. Thanks. Nothing too bad. So, that's cool. Goodbye. This video took a very weird turn. So, that's all I have to say. If you want to look at the snow, at our Texas snow, it's still here. Oh, that's fun. So here's my patio. And there's where I've been walking back and forth. That's all my footprints. Here's the shoes that I've been wearing. I find myself very smart. There's my cat. And there's me again, right in front of the sun. But I think my water's about to boil. So if you liked this video, I hope you stick around. There will be more things coming, probably in the same manic vein as this one. So I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.